no jumper, coolest podcast in the world, and I decided I had to tap back in with my man Danny. I just noticed a fly, so that might be part of the narrative.
Wait. Oh, man, the fly narrative.
In this pod, yeah.
Wait, this isn't Sledge Lords?
I mean, I don't know.
This is Sledge Lords, dude.
I feel like I'm like interviewing you, but it's hard.
No.
It's hard to tell.
If we're podcasting, it's Sledge Lords.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be weekly anymore, but it's still Sledge Lords.
SL forever.
SL, and a lot's gone by. A lot's happened since we did the last SL.
A lot has happened. What has it been, like 6 months, 8 months? I can't even remember.
Your birthday came and went, along with a big birthday bash. You did this last weekend, and I was there.
That's true. You took advantage of a woman at my party. We're going to talk about that.
I had a lot of interactions with a lot of women, and I can't definitively deny that claim, but I still think you're an for airing it out here on the podcast.
I'm just kidding, because I was actually with her yesterday, and she did mention it, and she mentioned that, I hate to let the audience down, but she mentioned that you did not her.
Bam! Bam!
So that's good.
We can't say definitively that I didn't anybody that night, because I came in contact with a lot of women.
But if you did, she doesn't know about it.
Who is this person?
The woman?
Yeah.
Delilah.
I don't even know a Delilah.
Delilah is an adult star who's kind of known on Twitter. She considers herself to be at the forefront of reply girl technology. And this is like something that has existed throughout YouTube history and internet history, but on Twitter, anyone who tweets anything, she will quite often show up in the replies and say something scandalous, exciting, interesting enough that, in theory, you will sign up for her OnlyFans because you'll want to see this extremely annoying person who just showed up in the DMs. You'll want to see them get. So you went to the party, and apparently she doesn't drink a whole lot, and she had a few beverages.
Yeah.
And so Danny Mullen ended up actually carrying her home with the assistance of her 3 friends, which I think is good, because you really don't want to be the guy carrying the drunk home.
Okay.
But if a bunch of her friends are there and you're just sort of acting as like you're like the tone of the situation, you're the hired muscle that's able to sort of like get this girl home.
Sure.
But you weren't actually planning on her passed out corpse, which I think is really cool.
And I wasn't planning on it, but I did anyway. And you're right, though. When I go home with the friends, it's like, because if you take a chick back solo, like, come on, no, I got to do this. I got to make sure she's safe. And then you prance off like Wile E. Coyote. That's alarming.
Right.
But I was with 3 other girls who are getting this girl home, and I want people to know, because right now I got a brand to protect. I don't want to sound chivalrous. I was definitely going home with those 3 girls in order to get from the ones who were still awake. My concern was not with the passed out girl, who sounds lovely, by the way.
Right. And also, what are the odds? Maybe she awakens from her slumber and decides that she wants to take advantage of you.
Oh, well, she doesn't sound like she'd be opposed to that sort of thing.
Were you drunk at my party?
I was hammered. I stayed up till 6:30 a.m. the night of your party.
Did you?
Yeah.
And you're trying to convince me that you weren't doing coke?
I wasn't.
That doesn't really bear out to me, because I was at that party as well, and by 2 o'clock I was done. Now, granted, I had been up since like 7 in the morning. I'm not sure exactly what time you're getting up, but by 2 o'clock, and I was smoking a lot of weed, and I did not drink at all. I was fried. People were coming up to me and just like saying happy birthday, saying good night, and I was just like unable to process absolutely anything that was happening to me. It was a frying experience.
Well, listen, buddy, you should have taken some time to step back and smell the roses.
Yeah.
Because I was there to celebrate one of the biggest business years of your life. And I was happy for you. And that's the only drug I needed to get me through to 6:30 a.m.
Happiness.
Happiness for my buddy. Selfless happiness.
Yeah, I appreciate it. No, that was a good time. It's like ancient history, though, now. I feel like the party is so in the rear view, because there were so many like different narratives that carried out from it. There was the narrative about Crip Mac not getting invited, which seems like ancient history, because Crip Mac is now locked in a federal prison, L.A. County jail, but awaiting federal prison, I believe.
I've heard federal prison is better than L.A. County jail, by the way.
I believe that there might be a little bit less gang-based brawling. Like once you go to the federal prison, you sort of just click up with your race and you're together.
That's confusing for Crip
often
Mac.
than not.
Like, who's Crip Mac going to be with?
The Samoans?
Is there a lot of them?
No, he's probably just with the black guys. for sure.
Doesn't he say the N-word? He basically is.
He's black. Yeah, I mean, he's black and Samoan. But
yeah, he's hanging with them.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, so that was a fun argument. I just actually found out about the whole thing about you carrying this girl home, but I forgot to ask her yesterday because she was on Plug Talk yesterday.
Yeah, it's weird how that became the narrative. What happened that night is the three friends and I went to the party of another big LA YouTuber. Not the party, the house of another big LA YouTuber who we can't name.
Right, and I heard it was some sort of like a devilish type vibe going on.
An might have taken place in a pool.
Some Lil Nas X.
And that's gay stuff, right?
Well, but also satanic. Satanic and gay.
We did not bring, well, I was going to say we didn't bring extra into the scene, but we extra were present. So
Wait,
it was like
you were involved in an...
Yeah.
How many girls did you throughout the course of this?
So this is what happened. I had sex with one,
Uh-huh.
and it might have even been...
Shut the up. How would you not know?
It was definitely...
What?
And then another man joined the affair, and at one point I attempted to bring another girl in, or actually, that sounds...
And he was like, no.
No. The other guy?
He was like, no, it's just me and you. I'm imagining him being like a big Pakistani immigrant type,
Yes.
but fully on testosterone and
Yes.
wearing a Gucci shirt unbuttoned.
Yeah, well, when we postmated the Red Bull, he was the guy who brought it. So we're like, out, buddy.
You've officially partied too late if you have to postmate some Red Bull to the crib. We're all out of so we have to postmate some Red Bull.
We weren't doing which is why we needed it. But I did try to do something shady. I had the guy who I brought into the picture, I told him, like, hey, take the girl we've been hooking up with upstairs, have some fun up there. I'm going to see what's going on with her friend.
Uh-huh.
And I was in the process of recruiting her friend into the pool, but the underlings of this certain celebrity in Los Angeles, the underlings blocked.
Really?
Kind of like his Hurley and his Mike, those guys just sort of were buzzing around like flies, distracting from it was going down otherwise.
Right. See, that is an awkward position to be in because I feel like in an environment like that, if you work for someone and that someone is, let's say, courting women or, providing an atmosphere for women.
Yeah.
You certainly, I think, are allowed to dabble with the merchandise.
Yes.
But you really don't want to be like the aggressor in that kind of situation. Like basically I'm saying if let's say you were P. Diddy's assistant before he was exposed for having all these freaky things going on or whatever. You're his assistant. It's like you never want to be perceived as taking away from the ringleader, the ringmaster, whatever it may be. Now you can get phone numbers, and I see the way that various people who work for me kind of play this because there'll be a lot of porn stars around, and obviously like maybe they're shooting content with me, and maybe you're the guy who runs the camera, and you start to have a little vibe with one of the girls, and you're thinking like maybe I can fuck this girl too in a couple weeks, and I see them sort of like treading lightly, wanting to get her contact information, follow their Instagram, maybe send a DM, but they don't want to necessarily try to be like unseating. They don't want me to feel a way about it, but they also know that I'm probably not going to remember who this girl is in 2 weeks, and so therefore they have to tread lightly, but not too lightly.
Yeah, that's like with anything in life. If the guy has the chops to pull it off, it's immediately not offensive. Like if your camera guy is smooth and relatively good looking, you probably wouldn't have a problem with it. But when he starts creeping out a girl who you've worked with multiple times, we've got an issue on our hands.
Exactly. Creeping out is the line that you definitely don't want to get to, because as soon as you start to be the guy who's the filmer or the sweeper, the broom guy, or the t-shirt sorter or whatever, you just don't want to be seen as the one who's making the girls feel weird. But then at the same time, you have to realize almost every guy, once they start consuming alcohol, becomes a little weird.
Yeah.
Like you start to kind of get into the territory of not really acting the right way. Almost always. Almost anybody a couple drinks in is acting a little weird.
These guys, though, they didn't have, because we all know the creepy Uber driver who tells girls like, oh, this is not my real job. Like I am a music producer. Like these guys, though, that block and me didn't even have the creepy camera guy, boom mic, grip energy. They had just like never seen a guy really get, seemed like. They were so in their growth as cocksmen that they were just watching from around the corner like they were cavemen seeing fire for the first time.
Wow.
So it was even like more of a cock block, if that makes sense. Because there were voyeurs, like peeping toms looking at me through the shrubs of the backyard.
No, but so was that the end of the action, or how did that? It's almost hard for me to understand how this even worked and how you were able to just show up and just be part of the.
I started the my man.
Oh, so you show up at a regular party and then you initiate the group.
It was like 3 a.m. And then the girls that we came with were like the initiators.
Oh, you brought the sluts.
Okay. Dude, that's the thing about your party. I met them at your party, and your party, like, it is the mecca for a guy like me who's got a job that's kind of repellent.
I don't think it could be mecca if it was like a party that only existed once and realistically might not even happen in the future. I feel like we need to think of a better metaphor.
Yeah, mecca. There weren't too many women there in full burqas. I didn't see any men on their knees. Some women on their knees, perhaps. I did see a girl with a up her ass doing like a go-go dance right next to me.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
I got it on
awesome.
my phone.
Because there's this one girl, Gia Durza, that I've been trying to shoot with Lena with for a while, and like she gave me head one time back in the day, like on some random shit.
Nice.
And I was talking to her at the party, and I said, "Hey, Gia, you should come on Plug Talk sometime." She literally like lifts her leg like a dog and pulls her ass cheek up and scoots her underwear to the side, revealing a in her butt, and says, "Okay, but can we do anal?" And I'm just like, And at that moment, I was like, okay, my brain is not completely fried because I'm very much entertaining this proposition. But okay, there's a problem.
Wait, she was wearing a like it was an everyday garment?
This chick is an anal legend. She's like so known for anal that I'm pretty sure she has again like at the dentist's office. Like it's just her way of life.
Where do you rank her versus Adriana Chechik, another anal legend?
To be honest, I haven't done anal with either of them, but from what I understand, they're probably like similar. Like they're both black belts.
Oh, maybe Adriana Chechik might be approaching coral belt.
I don't.
At least red.
Wait, you really go from black to coral?
You can go coral,
How
my
many
friend.
years does coral take?
Coral takes nigh a lifetime.
I think Gia's probably got a lot of coral in her ass.
Literal coral.
I don't know.
She went out boogie boarding and some just broke off and floated up there.